Hello, dear students. Good morning. Today we are going to discuss this poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers by Adrienne Rich. And this is the last poem of your syllabus of your book Flamingo. So, as you can see, the title is Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. So, it means we have an aunt whose name is Jennifer and she has tigers with her. And it is quite um, different. It's not normal to have tigers with her. Let's see what kind of tigers are these and why is she having these tigers. Before that, about the poet, Adrienne Cecil Rich, 1929 to 2012, is an American poet, essayist, and feminist. She is one of the most widely read and influenced poets of the second half of the 20th century. Her earliest work, including A Change of World, that was in 1951, won the prestigious Yale Younger Poets Award, was formally exact and decorous. The word, the book A Change of World, was quite popular. Her work of the late 1960s and 70s became increasingly radical in both its free verse form, feminist, and political content. So, her older work were actually, you can say, dealt with the feminism, political content, and her poems dealt with the complex subtleties of human life relationships, especially females. So let's begin now the detailed explanation. Introduction to the poem is, in this poem the poet talks about a lady whom she addresses as Aunt Jennifer and describes her ordeals. Ordeals means sufferings in her married life. She has tried to explore the inner feelings of a woman who is living under the dominance of men. So this poem is all about all those kind of ladies who have to suffer in their life and who are dominated by the men or who are dominated by the males of the society. So now let's discuss the poem in detail. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz, denizens of a world of green. So these tigers are of Aunt Jennifer's tigers, but they are prancing, jumping across a screen on a cloth. So the tigers are not real. Please understand this thing in the first line. Sometimes students get confused with this that Aunt Jennifer was having real tigers. No, these tigers were just made by embroidering by Aunt Jennifer, and these were in a jumping position on the screen on the cloth. Okay, so the embroidery was of the jumping tigers and the embroidery was done by Aunt Jennifer, so that is the reason it is said to be Aunt Jennifer's tiger. Bright topaz is a kind of gem, very expensive. It is of yellow color. So topaz here actually is telling us the color of the tiger, that is yellow. Denizens means residents, inhabitants of a world of green. World of green means forest. So these tigers are of bright yellow color and they are the citizens of forest. Means tigers live in forest. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek chivalric certainty. Beneath, under, sleek, sudden, chivalric, full of bravery, certainty means to be certain, to be confident. They refers to tigers. Okay, they do not fear the men beneath the tree. Tigers are so fearless that they do not even fear the men. See here, the word which is more suitable is they do not fear anyone under the tree, but the poet has deliberately used gender here. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. Why has she used it? Because this poem is all about the males who are dominant, the females who are crushed by the male dominance. So the tigers are even more powerful than men, because in this poem the victims feel that males are super powerful in the society, they are the most powerful, but tigers even do not fear the men. That is the reason gender is used. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They means tigers pace walk in sudden chivalric confidence, so they can take their own decisions. Tigers, they are so brave and they are so confident. These three qualities are specially taken by the poet Adrian Rich, because the females at her time in the society lacked all these three qualities. The ladies could not take any decision, so they were not sleek, they were not chivalric at all, they were not brave, they were very, very frightened, and then they were not at all confident. So, tigers are just opposite to the females in the society. Aunt Jennifer's fingers, fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. So, because Aunt Jennifer, as I told you in the first line, is embroidering the tiger, so she is embroidering it on the wool. And to give any stitch into the wool is the easiest task. Moreover, the aunt is having the ivory needle with her. Ivory, which is made up of the elephant's tusks, teeth, and it is very costly and it is very sharp. So Aunt Jennifer is doing this embroidery with the help of ivory needles. Still her fingers are fluttering, shaking, quivering. So it doesn't mean that Aunt Jennifer was had to put a lot of pressure on her fingers to take the needle out of that wool. No, because it was the easiest one, and moreover she was having a good needle too. So why were her fingers fluttering? This is a very important question for you. Why were her fingers fluttering? Her fingers were fluttering not due to the pressure of the embroidery, but because she was always under the orders of her husband, and she was always afraid, she was always frightened, she was having no confidence in her. That was the reason her fingers were fluttering. Moreover, she was old in age too. Next two lines are: the massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. This is the reason her fingers are fluttering. See, massive, huge weight of Uncle's wedding band. Uncle gave something to wear special on the wedding day. What it could be? Of course, a ring. Sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand, and it is so heavy and it is still on Aunt Jennifer's hands. That is the reason her fingers are fluttering. But it's not possible. Okay, the ring cannot be so heavy, especially the wedding ring, which can make anybody's fingers fluttering. It has some symbolic meaning. It means that after marriage, after wearing that ring, Aunt Jennifer's life is completely changed. Now she is under male dominance, and now she is having no confidence, and now she has to face a lot of troubles after marriage. She doesn't have any existence without uncle's permission. So that is the reason that after her marriage, the constraints, the difficulties, and the suffering she has experienced are making her fingers flutter. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. So one day, aunt will be dead, and at that moment, her frightened or terrified hands will lie, will stop moving, shaking, quivering. But still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. But whatever the orders, whatever the sufferings she had to face, whatever the orders she was mastered by the uncle would be with her. Means nobody would be able to understand what a harsh life she had lived. Those sufferings would go with her, which can never be understood by anyone. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. The tigers which she has embroidered would go on jumping. They would always be proud, they would always be unafraid. Why? Why would these tigers on the panel would be unafraid? The tigers in the reality somewhere can get afraid. Okay, the tigers in the reality will get old as well. The tigers in the reality will die one day. But here it is said, the tigers in the panel will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. forever they will be unafraid. Why? Because they are unreal. They are embroidered in such a position that they will remain same. Okay, don't forget they are unreal. So this was the poem. So let's see now what have we learned from the poem. What is the summary of it? Edrine Rich is describing a lady whom she addresses as Aunt Jennifer. She says that Aunt Jennifer is making an embroidery on a piece of cloth, which could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging. She has designed it with beautiful tigers which are walking fearlessly in the green forest. So the tigers are in walking position. She has described their beauty by comparing them with the precious yellow stone known as topaz. The tigers appear bright yellow in the green backdrop of the forest. They are fearless and they are not affected by the presence of men as the ladies are, but the tigers are not. Here we can sense the contrast of behavior between the tigers and Aunt herself. Though the tigers designed by her are fearless and she herself is afraid of her husband. See the contrast of the personalities. See her imagination. Why has she embroidered these tigers? Because she also wanted to be like tigers. She also wanted to live her life independently like tigers. She also wanted to be precious. She also wanted to be brave. And she also wanted to be fearless even in the presence of men. That is the reason she chose tigers to be embroidered. Further, the poet says, the tigers are proud and fearless citizens of the forest. They are very walking in a confident way and elegantly. The poet then describes the fear of Aunt Jennifer towards her husband. She says that while she is making the embroidery, her fingers are quivering with fear of her husband. Okay? She doesn't enjoy the freedom to do anything as per her wish. She doesn't have any kind of freedom. She's scared doing the embroidery too and fears his wrath, his anger. She doesn't know when her husband would come and start scolding her, beating her. It has become difficult for her to pull her needle up and down because of the fear. Then she describes the wedding ring which was given by uncle to Aunt Jennifer on their wedding day. She says that it is a kind of burden for her to wear this ring. That is the reason she feels it heavy. She has been tortured by her husband so much that the wedding ring, which could have been a beautiful gift for her, seems like a burden to her. She has faced so many difficulties in her married life that the little ring is described as a heavy band on her trembling fingers. This means that the ring is associated with terrible and frightening experiences in the form of torture that she has faced because of her husband's dominating behavior. Due to this ring, she has got married and she has come under the dominance of her husband. That is the reason it is said to be a heavy band. It's not heavy weight wise, but it's heavy ordeals wise. It is heavy responsibilities wise. It is heavy sufferings wise. The poet says that one can easily sense Aunt's desire for freedom and fearlessness through her design of tigers. Further, she says that it's not possible for Aunt to achieve this freedom during her lifetime. She will attain it, she will attain the freedom it only after her death. The irony of her life is that still she will be tied up with shackles in the form of her husband's wedding ring. Even when a lady is died, that ring is not taken away. So that this is the irony that even after death she'll have to be with that ring. Her hands will be still, but it will still be ringed with the ordeals she had undergone, experienced in the form of the wedding band. The ring was the only proof of the tortures which she had faced from her husband. On the other hand, there are the tigers designed by Aunt Jennifer, which will always depict her desire of living a fearless life by jumping proudly and bravely on piece of cloth. So her life is completely under her husband, but the tigers she had embroidered express that she actually wanted to live a fearless life. She also wanted to go independently to anywhere, but she was not able to do so, so she has left this embroidery of tigers behind. Poetic devices. Very few poetic devices are there. First is metaphor, like topaz is indirectly compared with tiger's preciousness. So use of topaz also used to describe the yellow color. So it is metaphor. Alliteration is F sound is repeated in fingers fluttering. Next is P sound is repeated in prancing proud. So in both the cases, alliteration is there. Next are symbols. Aunt Jennifer herself is a symbol. How? Because she is symbolic of all the women in the world who are under male dominance after marriage and who had to suffer so many sufferings and tortures. Tigers are actually symbols of bravery. Uncle's wedding band, symbolic of all the responsibilities, sufferings of afterlife, after married life. Okay, so these were the poetic devices, and now let's end it up today, and we'll be doing its question and answers in the next video. Now, some important things for your spoken English. So it is, don't say very excited, you should say thrilled. So instead of saying I am very excited, you should use I'm thrilled today. Very poor, destitute. Person who is very poor can be said to be a destitute. Very clean, spotless. Very dirty, filthy. If the place is very dirty, you can say, oh, it's filthy. Very boring can be said as dull. Very angry means furious. So you should use these words instead of adding very to the words. Furious. Very noisy, deafening. DEAFENING, deafening. Very noisy, deafening. So these are some words. So these are some words you can add in your vocabulary and can sound more good at your communication skills. Have a good day.